In the next example, I'm going to talk about how we can adjust the depth of sounds in a mix. Depth in a mix refers to the front to back relationship between sounds and elements in the mix. Mixes that have depth are said to be spacious, and this is often connected to the use of reverb. Sounds that have more reverb sound further back and more distant. Sounds that are drier are closer and more upfront. When approaching depth in your mix, it often helps to listen and think about how sounds work in the real world. What makes something sound distant and what makes something sound close? In general, two things: frequency content and ambience or reverb. A sound that is further away will have more ambience or reverb, and its high and low frequency content will be attenuated. So we'll go back to our original synth part. And on the bus for this stereo track, I've got an EQ device and I've got a reverb device. And what I'm going to affect is the high frequency content and also the dry wet on the reverb simultaneously. In order to do this in Ableton, I've mapped these two controls to a single macro, so that when I turn this down, it will simultaneously adjust the high frequency content and the spaciousness or ambience. So I'll put this into context with other sounds to hear the relationship between the front and back. So it's sounding quite distant there. The more I turn up this control, the high frequency content comes back and the sound becomes drier. So I could do the same on my other synth sounds, so that when I'm bringing up one sound, I'm bringing the other sound down, bringing one sound closer and pushing another sound further back in the mix. Automation is very useful in these type of situations where you can build depth changes throughout your mix. As with stereo width, arrangement and contrast can help. Automation is useful in shifting the balance, but constant motion is not the goal, with contrast being more effective. Again, thinking of the real world, we can use depth to bring focus to sounds or shift focus without pushing them too far back or lose their definition. A common technique in all styles of music is to adjust the stereo width for certain parts in certain sections of a song. In this way, the arrangement can also be used to emphasize the stereo field. An example would be making a verse part tight and focused in the center and then opening it out for the chorus. So we'll do an example of that on our drum track here. So we just have the drums and a keyboard part playing at the same time. I've got two utility devices on each of these tracks, which allows me to bring the sounds into mono. So the drums are wide and spacious, more mono focused, opening back out again. Into mono again. A lot of the time with these type of effects, you can also adjust the width, so pushing the sounds out even further. But again, you need to be careful with phase offsets and cancellation. Do the same with the synth sound. So when working on creating an engaging stereo sound field, we can go for realism, hyperrealism, or whatever works for the track. It's all about balance. As mentioned before, check your mixes in mono to see if the results are acceptable. You can also do different mixes for different mediums and presentation situations if necessary to make the most of what these techniques can offer.